These philosophical and religious concepts were so prevalent in the Mediterranean world during the patristic period that faithful Christian theologians could not avoid interacting with them. In fact, many of their theological discussions were framed in terms of Neoplatonic beliefs. Many of these efforts were quite legitimate. For example, the great ecumenical councils of the early church, such as Constantinople and Chalcedon, expressed biblical beliefs with Neoplatonic perspectives. Well-known leading Christian theologians such as Clement of Alexandria, Origen, and even Augustine also expressed themselves in terms that were familiar to Neoplatonists. Faithful Christian theologians in the patristic period did not allow their attention to Neoplatonism to supplant their basic commitments to the true gospel. They held strongly to biblical truth. But their awareness of Neoplatonism did help them explain the Scriptures in ways that they and their contemporaries could understand. And by interacting with their cultures in these ways, they promoted the gospel, built the church, and brought many unbelievers to a saving knowledge of Christ. There are many ways we could summarize the influence of Neoplatonism on patristic theology. But for our purposes, we will point to three characteristics of patristic theology that parallel our summary of Neoplatonism: the spiritual priorities of patristic theology, the importance of reason, and the importance of mysticism. Let's consider first the priorities of patristic theology as they were influenced by Neoplatonism. You will recall that one characteristic of Neoplatonism was dualism between the spiritual and physical realms. Patristic theology responded to this dualism by organizing and presenting the Bible's teachings in a way that gave priority to spiritual rather than mundane concerns, an approach to theology that we will call theology from above. In a word, theology from above is theology that gives first place to higher spiritual reflection over reflection on lower, more earthly matters. Reflections on God and His ways. What is the essence of God? What are His attributes? What is the unity of God? What is the Trinity? These concerns were much more prominent in patristic theology than reflection on the human condition and life in the physical world. These priorities became a hallmark of patristic theology. In the second place, Christian theologians gained a heightened appreciation of the importance of reason in theology, focusing on logical reflection as a primary tool for theology. As we have seen, one of the chief values in Neoplatonism was the belief that human beings have a duty to employ human reasoning to rise above the material world. In response to Neoplatonism's emphasis on intellectual reflection, early fathers of the Church also began to emphasize intellectual reflection in Christian theology. Leading Christian theologians focused more than ever on the careful, rational exploration and explanation of Christian beliefs, so that many doctrines that the New Testament left unspecified and unexplored became the objects of rational reflection.